Hi guys! Today we are going to be reading Goatman's Gruff. There's no more read-alongs, sadly, but we will be doing picture listens, whatever that is. So just look at the image of Goatman's Gruff and listen to the story. Hooray! Henry Cutburn and Joshua Berman have received a mysterious code and have been trying to decipher it for several days, and finally know what it says, but yet they don't know what it means. Do you really think this is the end? Why would Judge George give us this? Asked Henry. When Henry asked that, he saw that Joshua was not paying any attention at all. All he was doing was watching the live television to see if he won a trip to Texas. Dude, stop watching the stupid TV and help me understand what this sentence means, said Henry, furious. Oh, sorry. Maria, Violet, Jake, watch the TV and see if we win the trip, said Joshua. Okay, we will, replied the three of them. Okay, so this sentence must mean something. What do you think it means? Asked Henry. Dude, maybe it means you will win a trip to Texas, replied Joshua. Are you okay? Dude, you've been acting like this ever since Jake died. Yeah, I'm okay. And besides, my son ain't dead. I'm talking about your best friend, Jake. You know, Jake Potter. Okay, fine, I miss him. Look, when me and Jake were younger, we would always try and win contests. I just want something to get my mind off of him. Hey, Dad, you won the contest, said Jake. You see, now you have something fun to do, Henry said. Happy for Joshua. The following weekend, the plane tickets finally arrived, but there was a problem. There were only 3 tickets, but luckily Maria came up with a solution. The solution was that Joshua can bring Henry and Violet, and she will babysit Jake while they are away. Everyone thought it was a good idea, except Jake, who thought he was too old to be babysat, and he wanted to go too. On Monday, the 3 headed their way to the airport. When they hopped on, they were immediately escorted to first class because of the contest. When they were seated, Henry saw Judge George and pointed it out to Joshua, who immediately brushed it off as he may also be heading to Texas. But Henry didn't feel comfortable because Judge George was the one that gave them the code. When they landed, there was a man in a black suit waiting for them. They didn't know why he was there. Violet thought he was there to question them, but really he was there to escort them to their hotel. They checked in and saw the gloriousness of their hotel. Wow, this place is bigger than my cabin. My cabin is as big as the Dursley's house from Harry Potter, said Henry. Yeah, it's big. I could move my family and all their belongings in here, said Joshua. They finished admiring their room, then they shut off the lights and went to sleep. When they woke up, Henry's phone was ringing. When he answered it, Maria yelled through the phone, "Help me! Jake is a nightmare! He won't stop making messes and bothering me!" Henry quickly hung up the phone and turned it to silent. The 3 then decided to go on a hike through the forest behind the hotel. They hiked for 5 hours when they decided to settle down for lunch. Hey, while eating, can I tell you a scary story? Asked Violet. Sure thing. We can listen to a scary story, both Henry and Joshua replied. Okay. Once upon a time, in Texas, 2017, The locals of the state have reported hearing strange banging sounds in the forest at night, as if someone has been chopping a tree. But the lumberman doesn't chop trees after dark. No one knows who is causing the noises until one dark night. A couple had been hiking in a forest until they heard the knocking and then a roar. They didn't know what to do, so they continued their hike until it got very dark. They were scared because that thing could still be behind them. But when they were not looking, a tall being emerged from the shadows, holding an axe. This being then slaughtered the man, chopping him into pieces as the girl watched in horror. Then the being killed the woman and carried on with its night. After that, locals have reported seeing a tall man with a goat head, holding the same axe used for murdering the couple. The people are now calling this being the Goatman. Violet, you now owe me a pair of underpants. That story was scarier than my first encounter with Bigfoot, said Henry. Sorry, we can go back to the hotel so you can change, said Violet. Wait, before we get going back, where are we? Asked Joshua. I don't know. Like it's the hotel over there? We're over there, replied Henry. Guys, I think we are lost in the forest. There's no way out. We don't know where we are. And the Goatman could still be out there, said Joshua. Dude, you seriously believe in the Goatman? Sorry, I had to do something real quick. So we're going to start off paragraph 29. Guys, I think we are lost in the forest. There is no way out. We don't know where we are, and the Goatman could be out there, said Joshua. Dude, you seriously believe in the Goatman? He is just a myth. Besides, the story I told was just some story I heard from YouTube, said Violet. When the three realized that they were lost, Henry noticed something in the distance. Hey guys, I see a red bridge, so we are not lost. Oh, sorry, I already did it, said Henry. The three walked to the bridge and realized that this is no ordinary bridge. Violet pointed out that this is the Goatman's bridge. They were frightened because this bridge was in the middle of the forest, and they couldn't find a trail to get away. It was getting dark, so they pulled out their emergency tent and placed it under the bridge. Violet stayed up, because she was pretty scared. At around 1 a.m., Violet couldn't keep her eyelids open, but she was then startled by a scream coming from the forest, followed by a deep roar that didn't sound bear-like or Sasquatch. Both Henry and Joshua were woken by the sounds and stayed quiet. When they thought the coast was clear, they were wrong, because they heard what sounded like metal scraping the ground. They stayed quiet some more, so that way this being wouldn't notice. They were scared, but then the being's shadow became visible through the tent. It was a tall, human-like creature with a goat head, holding an axe. Goatman, Violet mouthed under her breath to Henry and Joshua. The Goatman opened the tent zipper and moved his axe in there to see if there was anything in there. He couldn't bend down to look because his spine was built in a way that prevented that. that prevented bending down. When Joshua, Henry, and Violet saw the axe, they instantly moved their legs back so the axe wouldn't touch them. After 2 minutes, the Goatman left, thinking there was nobody in the tent. "We need to leave now," Henry whispered. "No, the Goatman is still out there. We need to wait till morning, when the coast is clear," Violet whispered back. "Guys, you two are both right, but we don't know where to go or where to settle. So we will do Violet's idea. Then in the morning, we do yours, Henry," Joshua whispered. The two listened to Joshua and decided to go back to sleep. When it was morning, they woke up and packed up their things. And before they left, they explored the bridge a bit. The three walked on the bridge, where Violet was violently levitated off the ground. They forgot it was 6 a.m., so the sun was setting. Plus, Violet forgot to mention that the bridge is haunted. She screamed and struggled to get back on the ground. Joshua and Henry tried jumping to reach her, but she was too high off the ground to where they couldn't reach her. Then Henry had Joshua get on his shoulders and reach out for Violet. And this time it was successful. "How on earth did you levitate?" Joshua asked. "I don't know. I was just walking, and then bam, I felt a pair of hands grab onto me, and then started lifting me up," replied Violet. Then they started walking away from the bridge, but still didn't know where they were going. But started their hike once more to try and get back to the hotel. But on their way, they got hungry. But they couldn't eat anything because they didn't have any more food on them, because they ate it all. They hiked for 30 more minutes when they came across a beautiful waterfall with a pond full of fish at the bottom. Seeing this delight, they watched to see if any wildlife would eat the berries from the berry bush, in which they were lucky enough to see a bird eating the berries. This meant that the berries were safe to eat. They ate some berries. They ate some of the berries, and then Violet turned the branch into a spear with her emergency pocket knife and started collecting fish one by one until they had enough for dinner. Joshua then made a campfire to cook the fish. They made sure to eat dinner at 5 p.m. so Goatman won't see their fire. When they finished eating, they decided to explore before it was fully dark. They climbed up the cliff where the waterfall was running from and saw something horrific. "I'm going to be sick," Violet said. I am horrified," Henry says as he faints. "Do you think this is the source of the screams?" Joshua asked. The three saw what appeared to be a mutilated couple lying there in pieces. When Henry woke up, he didn't know to pee his pants or faint again. He chose to faint again. "Yes, I think this couple is the source of the scream last night," Violet said. "Well, if that is the case, then we need to leave this place, or else we will be next," Joshua said. Joshua grabbed his water bottle and splashed it on Henry to wake him up. When Henry wakes up, Joshua and Violet quickly tell him that they needed to leave. They pack up, bring a few fish, berries, and water, and then quickly leave the area. On their hike, it became dark, so this time they set up camp in a tree. This tree's branches were all tangled to where 6 people could stand there and not fall. When camp was set up, they went to sleep peacefully. But before they went to sleep, Henry powered on an audio recorder so that they can know if Goatman walks by or not. When they wake up, Henry checks the audio recording to see if he captures anything. "Hey guys, you need to come listen to this," Henry said. "Yeah, dude, what is it?" Joshua said. At 3:33 a.m., if you listen closely, you can hear what appears to be metal scraping against the ground. "That means that Goatman walked by here," Henry said, horrified. They packed their tent, hopped off the tree, and then continued their long hike back to civilization. They quickly sat down to eat fish for breakfast. Then they continued walking. They were walking for a bit when they noticed an outhouse between 2 trees. This meant that they were near a cabin. Since they found the outhouse, they quickly used the bathroom and then started to find the cabin. They searched for what felt like hours when Violet noticed a small thin trail in front of the outhouse. She told the others, and shortly after they started following the trail to try to find the cabin. They followed the trail for 3 minutes when they found the cabin. Their eyes filled with excitement because they finally have a safe shelter they can stay at. It was dark now, so they decided to head inside. Inside, there was a fireplace and a couch, a small kitchen, and an upstairs. They decided to settle down in the living room, but before they could, a familiar voice came from upstairs. "Who's there?" the anonymous voice said. "We are a group of hikers that got lost and are now finding shelter while running from Goatman," Joshua said. The 3 were shocked when they saw the anonymous voice was Judge George, aka the same man who tried Henry and gave Joshua and Henry the mysterious code. "No way. Judge George?" Henry said, shocked. "Please call me George," George said. "Okay, George, why are you here, and why did you give us the mysterious note that means, do you really think this is the end?" asked the 3. "Okay, first up, this is my winter cabin. And second, the sentence on the note meant that your guy's job hunting monsters is not finished. I need you to kill Goatman. He has been terrorizing me and my daughter. Please. He already killed my wife, Sadie. I don't want to lose my daughter," George said. "Daddy, who are these people in our cabin?" asked George's daughter. "These are friends of mine. Guys, meet my daughter, Haley." "Hi, Haley. I'm Violet. How old are you?" asked Violet. "I'm 12 years old," replied Haley. After Haley said that, glass from a window broke, and Goatman crawled through the broken window. George pulled out his firearm to protect everyone, but he was out of ammo. Because of this, Goatman threw his axe at George's face, killing him on the spot. Haley screamed in horror as she witnessed the death of her father. Violet grabbed Haley, and the 4 quickly ran upstairs and locked themselves in George's room. They found the window and quietly opened it. They climbed down the tree outside the window and ran for their lives. The 4 ran for a while until they got to the bridge. Violet noticed a path from the bridge that they never thought to walk through. They were about to start running onto the bridge to get back to civilization when they heard Goatman walking to the bridge. The four instantly hid where Goatman wouldn't see them. Then they saw him above their eyes, ready to hunt them. Goatman walked to the area under the bridge to look for the four, but they already started to walk onto the bridge. While getting to the under part of the bridge, Goatman noticed the four when they were on the other side of the bridge. He started to chase them through the forest. They ran for their lives until they made it to the city. They turned around to see if Goatman would follow them, but he didn't. He just stood there, looking at them, like he was gonna come back. The four booked a flight back to Boring and swore to never come back to Texas. When they got home, Maria looked like she fought a war and of course she was mad at the three, but forgave them. Violet talked to Joshua about what they should do with Haley and decided to adopt her. But Goatman wasn't finished with his horror. He migrated to the state of Maryland and started killing livestock, pets, and of course people. The governor of Maryland offered Henry, Jake, Violet, and Maria $500,000 if they could kill Goatman, but they had mixed thoughts on what to do. That was Goatman's Gruff. Like and subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications.